So, what are the key legal complexities foreign investors face while entering India and how to overcome them?
Well, uh, every country has its own legal ecosystem and so on, but it's a fashion among global clients to say India's regulatory landscape is very complicated for foreign investors and so on. Even right now you are listening to US president saying India is difficult in this way, that way, that way. But we have to protect our national interest, don't we? So India has multiple regulatory layers on foreign investments, mergers and acquisitions, licensing requirements, central level compliances, state level compliances, then regulatory bodies are there, IRDAI, TRAI, and so on and so forth. So we have to navigate the clients through these multidisciplinary bodies and so on. And we have to advise foreign clients on various entity structures, which are, in other terms, we say user friendly, right? It's not user friendly, but like tax friendly, entry friendly, and so on. Expeditious, economical, and effective from a tax perspective, repatriation of profits perspective, operational flexibility, and so on. So strategic structuring is very important when you are guiding a foreign client into India. Then a foreign client, while entering into India, would have to enter into so many contracts for, say, joint venture, technology transfer, HR, manufacturing contracts, supply contracts, and so on and so forth. So in those contracts, we have to provide them good operational measures, solid exit mechanisms, dispute resolution, indemnities, warranties, jurisdiction, and so on. And not only drafting contracts, we also have to sometimes carry out due diligence over their prospective partners, whether they are entering into an investment agreement or a joint venture or technology transfer, or they are entering into a franchising, leasing, uh, and so on and so forth. Foreign investors also have sometimes language, cultural, and execution gaps as well. Every country's culture is different. So we have to navigate uh, them through all this, what may be very correct culturally abroad may not be taken very kindly here in India at times. So we act as bridges. We try to align expectations on both sides, Indian side and the foreign party's side. So it sometimes goes beyond legal advisory, purely legal advisory. So we try to de-risk or minimize their risk when it comes to decision making, and we try to smoothen the process of their entry into India.
Very nice, sir. Very nice. Also, ma'am told me that you have published matlab, many articles too about law. So, how do you balance writing also, mentoring also, client responsibilities and everything?
Well, I remember Mr. Madhu Dandavate, who was finance minister of India at some point of time. Today's generation may not be aware of him. So somebody was asking him that how do you find time for all these things that you do? You are a finance minister, you write and you listen to music and so on. So his saying stayed with me. He said, "You will always find time for what you're passionate about, isn't it?" So I worked with some of biggest law firms in India for about 23 years. Then I took a leap of faith and started my own small boutique law firm to pursue some of my passions, which were like unattended to in those 23 years, namely writing, mentoring, teaching, training, and so on. So these are not three compartments in my life. These are all interconnected. So, sharing knowledge, supporting growth of young leaders, legal and management professionals, and solving problems of my clients and their clients. So, all this is interconnected. So, writing keeps my thought structured, and it sort of invigorates me in terms of I have to keep updating myself. My understanding remains sharp, right? And mentoring is not a distraction again from my legal practice. It is an investment in future. So many of my mentees have gone to become very big, amazing professionals, and their growth re-energizes me. And then legal practice comes first. Or of course, I'm talking it as the third leg, but it comes first. Staying active as a writer and mentor helps me serve them better, helps me keeping updating myself. So I'm always constantly learning, observing recent trends. So I work with intent, you can say, not with hours. I have not compartmentalized that I will work for these many hours, I will mentor these many hours, and so on. All this is intermixed. So something that fuels you, something that gives you, something that energizes you is not a burden, but something that drains energy out of you, that is a burden. I think anyone who has passion for anything can and make out time.
Yeah, that's very true, sir. When you have the capability and you have that, when you have that, जिद कि मुझे ये करना है, तो आपका टाइम निकल ही जाता है.
शिद्दत से आप जो भी करोगे वो हो जाएगा.
Yes. And also, so what inspired you to start Corporation Community Legal, and how has the journey of leading an independent law firm been different from working at some firm?
Well, the grass is greener on the other side, isn't it? जो नहीं किया वही अच्छा लगता है, दूसरे की थाली में घी ज्यादा नजर आता है, isn't it?
Yes,
But
sir, true.
grass is greener on the side where you water it more. So the concept and logic and the reasoning behind starting my own law firm was to provide an platform to small and mid-sized clients for more personalized and customized service at a fraction of the cost that the big law firms would charge them. So that was the logic. But an entrepreneur's life is very, very tough. Needless to say, it's very tough. From marketing to getting clients, negotiating your mandate letter with them, working on the transaction, and then honking on them for your bill. It's a very difficult task. But those who have this entrepreneurial khurafati kida in their mind enjoy it every bit. So it's a mixed bag. It provides you flexibility, autonomy, but it comes with a lot of challenges. Keeping your team occupied all the time, paying their bills before any money comes to you, and so on. It's a tough but interesting life.
Very difficult to have a business life. But of course, it gives you immense pleasure and relief that you are the owner, and also tension also.
So sometimes the tension overweighs all the joys and pleasures. Trust me. It's not
That's
easy.
the circle of life, sir.
Yes. So it's a mix.
Yeah. You have authored books on commercial contracts, and right now, ma'am told me, and also I have read your introduction to. So, what gaps in legal practice or education did you aim to address that these books?
So when we were studying in law school, and in some law schools still is the case, the focus is only on academic learning. You read the Bare Act, you read some case law, you read some jurisprudence on how law is to be applied, what are the legal theories, and so on, and that's it. But this is not what works once you are out of your law school. Client comes to you, client needs practical advice that this is my contract with the other party. Now you to draft it, or this is my contract. This is my arrangement with the other party. This is the draft contract I have received. You review it, or I have, we have agreed on these terms, but we need to negotiate on this. So real skills that are to be applied in real situations are drafting, review, and negotiation. There is no information on that, no teaching on that, no practical exposure on that in our law schools. So my books tried to bridge the gap between theory and practical aspects, how deals are actually negotiated, structured, and documented in practice. There was no book of its kind in India. So I felt that such a book was very much required. Students should get a solid foundation in the language, structure, strategy of commercial contracts or even M&A deals. So the focus of my writings in this book was to impart practical skills rather than academic skills, illustrative examples, my experiences, insights, and red flags, issues that I have faced, and something that is accessible to everyone. In law school, there are only law students, right? What about those who have passed out? Where do they get this knowledge from? So my books have been quite hit in that sense that law students, management students, entrepreneurs, young lawyers, even in-house counsel, all have access to this, all can benefit from this. Even my workshops and courses, not only law and management students, even in-house counsel or management professionals, highest of PSU managerial heads, they attend my workshops. So it was sort of a black box of deal making.
Great, so great, very good.